Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breech. This is my YouTube true story of WrestleMania 26, my first WrestleMania trip. I just re-uploaded, I think it was last week, my traveling vlog that I made on the way down there. That was a lot of fun to relive those memories. Hopefully, you guys were able to check that out. I was making the decision. I basically, when WrestleMania 26 come around, I was just watching videos on YouTube. I don't think I had really started making videos. If I had, nobody knew who the hell I was at that point, anyways. And I was just trying to, break my foot in the door. I think everybody understands what point I was at. If I made very many videos at all, it wasn't that many. Mostly, I was just putting up, family video vlogs from back in the day. But what happened was somewhere along the line, you know how you're just searching around the internet and you don't really know what you're doing, but you're looking at stuff. Somehow I found out that WWE was coming out with a comic book, and everybody knows I like to collect wrestling stuff. And I don't like to collect. Well, some stuff is junk. Some stuff is junk to somebody else that it's as nice to somebody else. But I was looking to see if this was actually going to be something that was worth something, because it was going to be the first issue of the comic book. So I wanted to see, like, is this something that's expensive? Like, if it's in the $10 to $15 range because it's a first issue, like they're gonna do something nice, like put it out with a hardback binding or something like that. Like, not that many people are gonna buy a comic book for $10 to $15. But if they put this out and it's $2 or $3, they're probably gonna print a million of these and hope that they sell them. So it's not really going to be worth anything after the long run. I don't really remember what happened when I went there, but I guess I filled out an entry form to win a trip to WrestleMania 26. I don't really honestly remember doing it, but then we flash forward months. Like I said, I don't really remember doing this, but I do remember going to that website for some reason. Probably have some news site saying that the comic book was coming out, and I just wanted to see if it was going to be cheap or expensive. Then it boils down to I go to a house show. I bought tickets to a house show. It was the uh, second show I've been to. The first show I went to when I got back into wrestling, after a long time, was the Bash Show 9. And then I went to this show because mainly it was the last show before WrestleMania. It was a SmackDown house show. I thought we were going to be able to see like some of the main events, like their last warm up matches, and ended up being like the Straight Edge Society and Edge, Luke Gallows, CM Punk. They fought up against Rey Mysterio, um, shit, um, Chris Jericho was in that match, and whoever else was in the 26. I don't know. I'll spend too much time trying to relive that match. That video's up on S-Breach videos if you want to check out my trip to that thing. And so then we go to that show. That show's fun. We come home, go to sleep. I wake up. I have this email on my phone saying, "You won WrestleMania tickets. You need to call us at this number." And at first I'm like, this has got to be some sort of a scam. I don't really believe this at all. So I posted on this wrestling website that I go to asking if anybody else got this, figuring that somebody got like like a whole long list of emails of everybody that watches wrestling and likes wrestling, and they'll just send us out free WrestleMania tickets. Well, some people will call us up. We'll ask them for their credit card number, and then we'll send them their. They act like we're gonna send them their tickets, and we really just charge millions of dollars to their credit card. That's what I was really thinking that was gonna happen. I posted up there, and like 4 or 5 people right at the bat said, "I didn't get it, but it's fake. There's no way in the world I believe it." Then somebody was like, "Why don't you just fucking call the phone number and see, what's gonna happen?" Um, so I was like, "Okay, I'll do that." And then I tried to call it. It was over in England because that's where the comic book is made and all that stuff. And basically, I didn't know how to do it on my BlackBerry, so I had to email him back. I was like, "Dude, I'm trying to call you, but I don't know how." So I gave him my phone number, and he called me right away. Even when I gave him my information, he didn't ask for any of my credit card stuff, and he said that they would 2-day FedEx them and they would get here in no time. I was like, I don't know, we'll see. I will really see if it'll believe it, but I was still riding pretty high on what was going to happen. And so I call my work and I ask to talk to my boss. It happens to be my boss's day off, and it's the assistant manager. So I say, "Hey, is Jeff there?" He says, "No, I just hung up on him because I didn't have time to waste." I was pretty much a dick move, but so I call my boss at home, and I'm like, I'm basically just saying I need this was on Monday morning of WrestleMania, so I needed to get off, Saturday, Sunday, Monday in order to get down there. So basically, one thing led to another. All my shifts got covered. I left Saturday morning and I drove straight from Sacramento all the way to Phoenix. It's 12 to 13 hour drive. I didn't know anything about WrestleMania. I'd seen it on TV. I probably knew about Access stuff, but I just didn't know there was gonna be Access stuff. So I just planned on going, getting a hotel, sleeping, and that was it. Halfway down, a buddy of mine who I went to school with, he lived in Phoenix. He called me up. He said, "Yo, we'll go to dinner." So I went and met this guy, and right after I, said, "Yeah, we'll go out to dinner," that's when I was checking on Twitter because I was bored. I was one hand driving the whole time. Call me an idiot. I don't care. But I was bored. I was honestly going crazy by the time I hit Arizona. Like I'd been in the car that long by myself, talking to nobody. So that's when I saw somebody tweet that they were going to Access, and I was like, oh shit, I could have gone to Access. So anyways, go out to eat with him, go to the hotel, stay at this, I think it was a Motel 6 or something, but it was out in the middle of nowhere. I felt like I was getting invaded by crackheads or something like that. Now here is my first problem. Huge wrestling mark, love wrestling. This is my first WrestleMania. All I want to do is just be a part of this and just be there. I looked up on the internet when, the parking lot opened. I was at WrestleMania 26 in the parking lot at 9 a.m. Yes, I am an idiot. I was, no joke, the 10th car into the parking lot. I know that because I felt like an idiot once I got there, noticing that nobody else was there. So I counted the other amount of cars because as you get there, they make you park in a row. They don't let you pick your own spots. And I was the 10th car that was there. So I walked up to where the gate was, met some guys that said they had honestly been there since 7 this morning. All of them came on the same bus, and so I thought they were a big group. None of them knew each other. They all just came on a bus from the LA area, and they just happened to be there, so they sort of made friends on the bus. So we talked nonstop wrestling from 9 o'clock to whenever they let us in. I think they let us in at like 3:30. I honestly can't remember. It was a West Coast Mania, so it was a little bit earlier, whenever it was. That they didn't let us in for a long damn time, but honestly, there was never a dead moment. There was never a time. Oh, forgot the one thing. You pull into the parking lot at WrestleMania, you think it's going to be the best day of your life. You're like, oh, I'm loving this shit. As I get there, as I said, on the 10th car, the 11th car pulls in next to me. As I'm getting out of my car, the desert winds of Phoenix that I'm not really used to grabs my door and throws it from having it just like, how you like open your door and you put a foot out like you're about ready to get out, but then you're not really 100% ready. I was grabbing some drinks in the back because I ride with rock stars because I live my life, high on energy drinks. But anyways, as I'm about to get out of the car, the desert wind goes whoosh, and it throws my car open from about like a foot, just bam, right into that 11th car. No joke. Hit it as hard as it could. No joke. Left a dent, left a big white mark from the white truck down the side. And I look at the guy and I'm just like, fuck, because I'm at to exchange insurance information with this guy now. So he's not fucked over to getting his whole car fixed. So, anyways, he looks at it, looks at me, and I'm just like, fuck. And he looks at me and just like, it's no big deal. And he's like, we're going to WrestleMania. Let's not let this be a bad day. And I'm looking at him like he's my guardian angel. Like, oh my gosh, thank you very much. I gave him one of my energy drinks, and he went his way. I went my way, and I made sure I never saw him again the whole other day in case he changed his mind. When I left the show that night, I honestly drugged my feet to get there because I didn't want to see him just in case. Anyways, after spending all that time out there in the heat, I was done big time. I walked in from the long line of people trying to get in there. You think that I got there so early, I would be one of the first people in there. No, I don't know what happened. They moved us all around, and it was a good time. That's all I can say. You finally get in there, and as you walk in, you just see the stage and the ring, and it's just like and Jem just said in his video that he just put up what WrestleMania means to him today. It took me from being a 28-year-old guy to being 7 or 8 years old, reliving going to my first wrestling show. It was on the bigger stage and all that, but it sucked me in. I don't know how to believe it. At that time, as a wrestling fan, I watched wrestling Mondays and Fridays. I watched it on DVR. I watched it as fast as I could. I watched it at a repetition. I was not in love with the product at all, and the only way I can put it to you is it baptized me as a wrestling fan. It took me under, and it was like, you love this stuff. It was like I was 7 or 8 again, and since that moment, it's starting to wear off, honestly, now. Back in December, I was hating wrestling pretty much. But, I mean, just that moment just is like, wow, it took you in, and you get to see the, like, I don't know, it's just like what they say is that the guys go all out on WrestleMania. It is so true, and I mean, it just that is why I've gone to 26. That's why I went to 27. That's why I'm going to 28. Is just that one day beats anything. Beats a house show. House shows are awesome. Beats Monday Night Raw to hell. Beats any other pay-per-view you can go to. Mark my words. WrestleMania is something that you fall in love with. It becomes addictive, and I don't know. One more is never enough. I will always remember that day. I'm always grateful to WB Comics. I don't even know if they're in business anymore, but thank you very much.